Hey everybody, I'm with Jill Rowley, a social selling evangelist. And Jill and I have had some fascinating conversations today, and I wanted to capture this and share it with everybody in the Grow community. So, Jill, let's first of all talk about what are some of the hurdles you're seeing to adopting something that is undeniably powerful, social selling in an organization.
Yeah, I think probably the biggest hurdle, it really starts with the DNA and the culture of a company.
Hear, hear.
Yeah, and it's understandable because a lot of companies are more traditional and they've been around a long time and they've done things a certain way and they're used to control. And they're used to being able to control the message, to control their employees, and to some extent really even control their customers. And it's very hard to let go of control. And so the culture has to change to understand that you really, the more you fight against it, the worse it's going to get. We live in a collaborative economy. The millennial generation is taking storm, and by 2025, 75% of the workforce will be millennials. Those people were born digital, born mobile,
the
born
digital natives.
social, digital natives. They're used to having access, untethered access to information, to people. And now we're trying to put them into these very old school traditional companies. It's not going to work.
Boy, what a topic, huh? I mean, we've got a train coming down the tunnel at us, don't we?
Well, if you think the train in 2020, 50% of the workforce will be millennials. That's in what? 6 years. In 11 years, 2025, 75% of the workforce. Those are our employees, those are our customers, those are our partners. Businesses must evolve.
And it's got to start at the top. There's got to be, there's no such thing as a groundswell of a revolution. Of a cultural revolution. It's got to come from the top, and that's really where I'm guessing that's really where your message needs to be heard, right?
I think it has to be heard at the C-suite, and I'm a big fan of what's termed reverse mentoring. And that means that the 60-year-old CEO actually is paired up with
younger millennials.
And it doesn't even have to be millennial. Like, I'm 41. I'm not a millennial, but I'm Gen Z. I'm the generation connected. Always on, always available, very transparent, very authentic, share everything, no filter. And so it doesn't even have to be a millennial, but it has to be that Gen Z connected individual.
Now, you were telling me about your ABC process for social selling, and it's so clever, and I would be delighted if you would share a little bit of that with our audience.
Okay, great. So, and I'll try to do it in a formalized fashion. There's a framework for social selling that I designed about 18 months ago. The framework has 4 pillars. The first aspect of social selling, before you go in ABC, always be connecting and curating other people's content. I'm down with OPC, you know me. Before you start to connect and curate.
What was that?
I'm down with OPC, you know me, other people's content. Your content, Mark, I'm down with your content.
We have officially just had the best video interview ever on Grow.
Great. So before you do that, you have to think about your personal, professional, digital profiles. Meaning, on LinkedIn, is your LinkedIn profile optimized for the recruiter or the buyer? Buyer-centric social profiles. That's step number 1. Now, you use social networks like LinkedIn and Twitter to find your buyers, listen, relate, connect, engage, and amplify. Amplify your buyer's advocacy. So pillar number 1 is ABC, always be connecting, and 2, socially surround. Socially surround the buyer, the buying committee, and the influencers, the subject matter experts in the area where you work. Really identifying that entire information ecosystem. It's got to go beyond individuals, doesn't it? Absolutely. It's so socially surrounding that entire ecosystem that impacts that buyer. 2, step number 2, pillar number 2, content. Content is the currency of the modern sales professional. You use content. I teach you how to read.
It's not the Rolodex anymore?
Oh, Oh, it's not the Rolodex. And if the Rolodex alone doesn't do anything, you have to feed your network. And the network is hungry for good quality content that's edutaining, that's visually appealing, that's emotionally engaging, snackable bites of content. So as a sales professional, what you do is you read what your buyers read and you share that across your social networks. Third pillar, social listening for leads. What's the general conversation that's being had about marketing automation, lead scoring, lead nurturing? Listen to the conversation, engage in a non-salesy, selly, pitchy way. Do not sell, do not pitch. Do not spam. Do not shout.
It's hard to do.
You listen and you engage, you add value, you provide insight. So social listening for leads. And then the fourth pillar of the social selling framework is measure what matters. And yes, initially it's a lot easier to measure vanity metrics, like size of my network. I have 9,222 connections on LinkedIn. I have 13,333 followers on Twitter.
That makes you a guru.
It just makes me like actually have a lot of followers. That's all it means. So the question is, what really matters in social selling? Ultimately, at the end of the day, salespeople are measured on revenue. So you have to be able to measure. You have to correlate social activity to pipeline and to revenue. That's hard.
It really is.
It's really hard.
Well, Jill, it's just been delightful getting to know you, and thank you so much for sharing with us. And tell everybody where they can find you, where they can connect to you on the web.
On the web. I always say be where your buyers are, offline at events like South by, online in social networks, at Jill_Rowley. Rowley, at Jill_Rowley. On LinkedIn, just search for Jill Rowley. And if you send me an invite to connect, it sure as heck better be personalized.
All right, and we'll put all those connections in the text of the blog post. Jill, thanks so much.
Thanks, Mark.
Take care.